If the tremendous support that this new festival has had is any indication, then the book is certainly well and truly alive on the beautiful mid-north coast of New South Wales.
I came to a really articulate, active community in this beautiful part of the world in the Bellingen Valley, and I wanted to bring writers here and to bring them to talk and share their ideas with the general community, because that's where books start.
Welcome to Bellingen dairy herds.
You overpaid entertainers, you bankers, you inbred elite.
Blame the Constitution, but what exactly does it constitute?
We're going to hear these brilliant voices read, and then we're going to have a general conversation about ideas and inspiration.
As a boy, I'll tell every new stranger until it started burrowing into me as a sort of truth.
The best things about Writers' Festivals is it blurs the boundary between writers and fiction and literature and readers, and both get to share stories, both get to interact with each other, and it's an amazing setting to come to Bellingen for a Writers' Festival.
It's something you kind of love, you know, and you sort of alluded to it, that thing of you sort of something you read when you're 16, you read it when you're 30 and you kind of go, what was I thinking?
The openness in actually meeting other readers rather than just hanging out with writers all the time, I think that's sometimes a thing that doesn't get enough attention in writers' festivals.
What we would describe as magical kind of lateral movements in ordinary life was completely real for him and his family and his culture.
These little places like Bellingen really have the fresh excitement about them, where the readers and the people you meet are genuine readers with real kind of passion and love for books. They're not necessarily industry people or anything like that.
The artist's heart is a sigh. The artist's heart is a back corner of the room.
And he had a special word for swimming in the relationship of the human to the water. He called it the Swinburne.
I think we're losing touch with the natural world and processes. You know, we've got the environmental crisis, and I'm not ashamed to use poetry as a tool.
Ever higher, ever further, ever smaller.
In the far, sad corner of the empire.
It's an enormous pleasure to be here. I know you have to have 3 generations buried in the local cemetery to be regarded as local, but you know, I have got the local connection here.
It's got that wonderful mix of the sort of the culture, the conservative, the rustic, you know, the hippie, creative. If ever there was a town that deserved a Writers' Festival, it was this one.
I just had the idea of mum and dad and kids, and I thought I'd have and make them as weird as I could, and then I thought I'd just have one that looked really normal like.
Death was not discussed in any way, shape or form. If people died, they passed away.
How committed the community is to writing and to reading, and how strong the reading culture is. And as a writer, the best thing is to connect with your readers.
I would say that it is quite important to reclaim women for history and to not let women just fall by the wayside.
It's actually been really good for me to listen and to meet some of the local writers, because I've made some great connections, and I'm sure I'll keep them up and it'll enrich everybody's writing.
A Writers' Festival hasn't got the pizzazz of a music festival, but it's a wonderful opportunity to sit and take in all kinds of wisdom and learning and experience that other people are offering.
Yeah, Jack was very influential. I didn't even know Jack was a writer then, Cameron. I had no idea. I learned pretty quickly that I was dealing with a man who had an opinion about everything. Most of them worth listening to, even if you didn't agree.
Please put your hands together for Judith Beveridge.
And then the egret stepped into a sunshaft. A crow flew down, made its slaying in the spirit human sound.
But the first question. Now we all know where Peter Carey was born. Peter Carey, our patron.
Walk the land with the spirits of its race, and as it tells its stories and as it sings its songs, it will know it's dreaming in a place where it belongs.
We threw water bombs from the front carriage onto kids like us walking by the tracks, step by step to school. We stood on verandas armed with slingshots.